How are you doing? Yeah, so it's a funny old situation, really, this. I seem to end up in situations like this increasingly often. In academic institutions, you know, full of people with particular specialities. I'm an expert. That's a nice introduction. Actually, I'm not. I really feel like I am a person. Right? I'm a person who's decided to dare to care enough about the world that I find myself in to act, and act with the intention of success. Right? So it's not about action for the sake of it. You know, oh well, at least we did something. We've got some really interesting crises, some really interesting challenges. I'm heading up the issue, the subject of inspiration at the city scale, and that's really key to the Sentient Cities project. So the project really is a new creature. I think it's got some new things to say, and I won't be able to tell you about all of that by any means right now, but it'd be nice to chat more as we go along. It's only really just taking its first steps in Newcastle. We're just starting to talk about it. It's at the stage in some ways of an idea, but it's more than an idea. It's already attracted energy and, I think, inspiration at the street level in this city. So people have heard this idea and there's some resonance. There's lots of room for ownership and for this to evolve into something that really is a part of people building their own future. At the same time, we've got a little bit of a structure which we think is really important. Partly because, however we feel about a sustainable future, however powerfully or strongly we feel about it, every one of us, I think, is still completely immersed in a culture that still assumes that continuous growth on a finite planet is going to get us what we need. Sentient Cities is about a really deep, almost laser-type, incisive questioning into that belief system, and it's very much about inspiring effective action. And so we've got some beautiful tools and potentials emerging, and that's attracted in a way the support of a growing ring of mentors who love this idea, and each of whom have got incredible insight into that question, the core question of our project, which is how can you animate, inspire and engage the populations of entire cities in a shift to a more ecological and viable future. And in a way, that's speaking directly to every one of us right now. It's like, it's a viable human future. And we've got this incredible chance, at a time of incredible challenge, and in some ways maybe incredible difficulty. We don't know what the consequences of our actions over the past 200 or 300 years will be over the next 50 or 100 years, but they will be, and let's hope they're not as bad as they could be. But it's an incredibly creative opportunity. So Sentient Cities has got two areas of action. How am I doing for time? One is, you could say, very creatively focused. It's about play. It's about having fun. It's about embracing this enormous structure called a city, yeah? Which is also composed of this extraordinary biomass. I mean, how much do all the people of Newcastle weigh if you put them all together on a great big scale? And also, how much does the stuff weigh? I mean, I just thought about it this morning. I thought it's got to be somewhere around 500 to 700 million tonnes, at least. And that has been moved and shifted and sifted by human activity. It seems that we are makers of worlds, and I think we really need to wake up to it. And we're interested in waking ourselves up and a whole lot of other people at a lot of different scales. And that includes people that work in academic institutions, people that work in research facilities, people that have decision policy-making roles, people that kick about on the street, get into fights, people that go to a football match and then kind of whatever, go home and watch telly. And we've got some really useful models of how to go about that. Two types of action. So one is incredibly playful, it's exploratory, it's seeding the city with a sense of extraordinary potential. It's kind of beginning over a period of year with real continuity and maybe building up towards the end of that time to seed the city with extraordinary, wonderful, beautiful events from the personal level, the micro level, to enormous, wonderful, fragile structures that appear on rooftops right across the city and then disappear the next day. If you want to shift the perception of an entire city of itself and its own potential, then you actually have to work quite hard. And I think if this is going to get off the ground, we're going to need some serious support. at grassroots level and a lot of other levels in Newcastle. We need to work through what this is really all about. The other side of the action is inspiring people is a bit meaningless unless it's connected to the means by which they can build a future of which they really are a part. It's possible maybe that you could, from the top down, engineer a carbon-free future for planet Earth, yeah, and humanity. From the top down, through wonderful expertise, but that future would have enormous holes in it. And
John,
those holes would be shaped. 5 minutes,
yep.
yeah? Those holes would be shaped like you, and like you, and like you. And for me, that's not acceptable. Because we are part of this planet. Yeah? We're a living, breathing part of an extraordinary system. We need to learn about that. And we need to develop a culture in which people can really get to understand how this stuff works, have time to play, have time to explore, but engage in practical action. And the practical actions we're interested in at the moment that seem realistic to actually embody some of these whole systems and ecological design principles on the ground in places that people can get hold of it at street level are urban agriculture, and we've had a fantastic time with Charlie Price. You can check him out on TED, in a way the founder of Aquaponics UK. Fantastic living systems, beautifully looped ecological systems that can be set up in a city centre, in a warehouse, anywhere. The other one is My Local TV, and that's about web-based TV at the community scale. It's communities saying who they are, what they believe in, what's happening for them, but able to access all kinds of other options and talk to each other. And the other one is Solar Streets, a beautiful model developed in Bristol, where they're developing community-based energy for the whole city, hopefully, but on a street-by-street level. So you have a party at the start of the street, everybody does the solar on the roof, they've got a great economic, financial model for it, they've got the money ready to go, and at the end of the street you go, yes! And there's something of that spirit, at street level, producing the ownership of a more viable future. And I think, we've got a part to play, and who we are now, I don't think is quite sufficient to get there. My feeling is that the viable human is something that we all are, but is still yet to emerge. That's a serious proposition, an invitation, and something that we can't do. We're just a part of it. Hey.
John, spot on. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.